Hello and welcome in today's exciting episode. We're looking at prints and patterns and how to mix, match and clash them. So let's get to it.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So before we have a look at my wardrobe and the way I approach mixing and matching and clashing prints and patterns, let's have a look at what the internet has to say. This is Tan France from Queer Eye for a Straight Guy, and it's a masterclass, and you just basically pay to listen to the video. And this one it's sort of, first up, they tell you what the 9 main sorts of prints and patterns are. And if you consider Paisley and houndstooth two of the 9 essential patterns, then this list is for you. And then after that, then they tell you how to wear prints and patterns. And again, it's pretty basic stuff. One, you have to wear a pattern with something neutral. So just get something classic like a stripe and then wear it with blue, white, beige or black. And then once you have confidence, wear it with colour. And 2, if that's too daunting, then you could just wear a plain outfit and just, a scarf that's got a pattern on it. I feel like these are incredibly basic. I think you could have figured that out by yourself. And then number 3 is sort of trust yourself. And this I can get behind because, I just think buy patterns that you like. The entire point of wearing patterns is that they bring you joy. So, just trust your gut and go. If you like something, buy it. And then later on, once you've amassed, dozens of different prints, then start to think about how you're going to mix them together and match them or clash them. But you have to have patterns to sort of be able to mix patterns and to start playing with them. Anyway, so the last useful section of this article is 4 tips for mixing prints and patterns. And it's basically the same thing over again. 1, get to know your foundation prints. And 2, embrace the power clash. So I think you can skip the foundation prints. It's problematic because everyone knows they're basic and simple. So no one's going to go, oh, you put a lot of effort into that. They're going to just look and go, someone played it safe. And that's, I don't know, I just feel like that would be disappointing to me. Anyway, 2 is embrace the power clash. And I absolutely agree with that. Just if you love 2 things, then odds are when you put them on, they're either going to look hideous and hilarious and they're going to clash. And sometimes that's absolutely fine. Sometimes you kind of have to swap it for something else. But, when you love 2 prints and you're wearing both of them, there's a level of joy in the way you carry yourself. So, I don't actually mind when my things clash. Anyway, so point 3 is choose patterns of different sizes. And this dress here, I've got it's got 2 different prints in it. And I bought them like a year apart, I think. This top one is the one I bought because I absolutely loved it and it was pretty pricey. But the other one is just a fashion fabric. And I bought it because, I don't know, it was weird and kind of different. And then when I got them home, I was like, wow, these 2 look really good together. And then this one here is more obvious that they're both beige, but the top one is a much smaller size and it's more detailed, whereas the larger one I've used on the skirt because the one around near your face is the one that's people will be looking at the detail in that, whereas the one on the skirt, it doesn't really matter if it has less detail. And these are some other ones. That the one sort of on the left now, I just think that's a little bit of a mismatch. But the other ones, I kind of quite like most of them. So, and then the other point 4 of this, so the last thing is that you should use colour. I mean, of course, if you're going for prints, then I think colour is going to be there somewhere. But yeah, you shouldn't automatically think that if you use loads of bright colours, it'll all work out. You do have to think about colour and why you like certain colours and what it means to you. Like if you just love a certain colour and when you wear it, you sort of are happy, then of course you're always going to look better in that colour, whether it suits your complexion or not. So that was kind of it for that article. Well, there's lots of advertisements telling you to subscribe to Masterclass, but that was basically it. Now this is the other one. It's from InStyle, and there's a link in the description box below to both these articles. So this one, point 1 and 2 are kind of the same. Keep color in mind. So this point says if you're a bit nervous about how bright a pattern is, then you can always power it back by wearing a neutral with it. So add some more black or navy or something like that. And then the next point is kind of the same. Go with loud and subtle. So if you feel like the print is too bold, then wear it with white or, water it down with something like that. And then point 3 is if you love a print, buy everything. So buy the top and buy the trousers in the same print. I don't really agree with this. I feel like it's more of a marketing point from a fashion magazine. I think it's better to just invest in a top or a pair of trousers in a particularly, in a signature print, and then, get your money's worth, mix it in with the rest of your wardrobe. And then the next point is reconsider what you think are neutrals. So this article says animal prints such as snake skin and leopard print, they're all neutrals. Like to people who are reading if you're trying to be an influencer, then and you're trying to get photographed on the street, then people who read your outfits will consider that animal prints are a neutral, so sort of play with that. And then the next point is, I really don't agree with this one either. They're telling you to buy Paisley Trousers and then you can buy 5 more shirts to go with it. And I think that's a bit consumerist. And then the next one is, I do love this coat, but I don't agree that you should buy outerwear that's fashionable. I think, it's comme des garçons, so of course you should invest in amazing design pieces. But just, how many coats does one person need? I live somewhere where it's never very cold, and one big black coat is enough for me. I would rather have, 100 or 200 dresses plus dozens of shirts and dozens of skirts and just have 1 or 2 coats, and that's it. I just think fashion is, because it goes out of style so fast, I just think it's problematic to invest so much of your money in something that's out of date before you've worn it, a couple of times. And then the last point is about you should mix summer and winter wardrobe together and not be precious about what's fall winter, what is spring summer. And I totally agree with this. So these are sort of the best example from my wardrobe that I've made. So I bought all these skirts are made from fabric that I bought. It's cotton lawn fabric, and there's a dozen different ones here. So I found this fabric store called Fabworks in the UK, and they just had the most beautiful designs there. Most of them are William Morris, but there's a couple of modern ones as well, and they come in all these beautiful colours. And so I was just like, well, I could buy several meters of one, or I could buy half a meter of this, half a meter of this, and that's what I ended up doing. A meter is just over a yard. And so when they arrived, I was like, oh, how am I going to use them? Now I've got all these tiny bits of fabric. And so I decided to divide them up into 3 skirts. So I've got the navy and the blue one, and one is pinks and greens, and then the other one is all the leftovers. So it's brown, mustard and purple, and it just went perfectly with the jacket. The jackets I also made, and after I finished making them, I hand beaded them. I also handmade the fringe on this jacket here. So yeah, I'm just so happy with the way that they turned out. So each skirt is a bohemian, sort of a baggy 3-tiered skirt or 2-tiered skirt, and it's got there's lots of pattern matching in the actual shirt, in the skirt, but I've also paired them with a jacket that sort of either matches or clashes it. The navy one is probably the one that gets the most wear, just because I have a lot of navy jackets. Because, I mean, you know, you can never have enough, in my opinion, you can never have enough navy tweed jackets. They're just the perfect thing for pretty much every occasion. But the other ones I love because of the colours. The one on the left, I call the Monet one, because it's like the colours from the water lily, Monet's water lily paintings. And the other one, it's sort of oranges and creams and mustards and yellows sort of colours in there. And yeah, I guess I should probably clarify, I don't have anything against coats. I'm just saying that designer coats are, you know, $15,000-$20,000, and that is a staggering amount of money for something you're only buying because you've been told it's in fashion right now. And I just think if you're investing in a classic black coat, a classic navy coat, a classic tan coat, I totally get that, because you can wear that for the rest of your life. But yeah, I just think, yeah, fashionable outerwear, because outerwear is supposed to be made so that it lasts forever. Jackets and coats, they're supposed to last forever. And yeah, if you're not going to wear them forever, I just do not see the point of buying them, because they don't have good resale value. And yeah, if they're sort of made to be fashionable, their value is often seen as the label, not the really well constructed, you know, it's not craftsmanship that you're paying for label. So it could be better quality is what I'm saying. Anyway, so these are some other dresses that I made. So for the blue bit at the top, I just had 4 yards of this fabric, and so I made a dress with 3.5 of it, and then the leftover bit I used as the top of this dress here, and then because I only had a few yards of that bottom one, and then I mix another floral in there as a sash. And yeah, so they sort of clash, but I kind of like the way that they clash. But if you don't really feel like you have the confidence to mix patterns, then I would say just start with solid colors. So I love watermelon, so pink and green are absolutely a go-to for me, but I also like kiwi fruit, or just anything. What are 2 colors that you like together? If you can't even think of 2 colors that you like together, then just think of a fruit that you like, or anything, and just start wearing 2 or 3 colors together. And once you've got your confidence up by doing that, these are Valentino, so just get on Pinterest and search for Valentino's color block, and just, find an outfit in your wardrobe that matches those colors. And once you're confident wearing those, then instead of just wearing plain green and plain pink, mix in a pink print with a green print, and then sort of go from there. Or whatever your favorite colors are. If purple is your favorite, if navy is your favorite, I mean, I could just my favorite color is green, and like literally a huge percentage of my prints are green. And if I just could only wear green prints for the rest of my life, I think I'd be quite happy with that, because there's so many gorgeous ones. And even if you just mix different greens, then you've got such an amazing range of things to choose from. I mean, look at these Oscar de la Renta trousers with the little pineapples at the bottom. So cute. And And then once you've got your confidence up, just mixing like navy and white, navy and cream, then branch out and bring in other colours in there and go a little bit. I think it's kind of like a pendulum. You kind of have to go to the extreme and go, whoops, that was a bit too far, rather than just staying safe and boring, because I think you sort of disappoint yourself when you do that. So here's an example of different ways of thinking about patterns. So on the left, you've got Dolce & Gabbana, and it's just a plain pineapple, whereas on the left here, you've got Dries Van Noten, and it's like a meta way of thinking about pineapples. So on the jacket, it's like, well, what is a pineapple? What does it look like from the outside? And how do we turn that look into a two-dimensional print? What would that look like? And can we make a jacket out of that? And once we've done that, what is the silhouette of a pineapple? What's the essence of its shape? And how can we reflect that in a shirt, without being too obviously all about the pineapple? And I think the way that it's a meta way of thinking about it, and it's less obvious and more intellectual, too intellectual, some might say. But I don't know, I just really enjoy the way Dries Van Noten looks and thinks about patterns. But I mean, on the other hand, I also love those Oscar de la Renta trousers with the little pineapple prints at the bottom. So I mean, there's lots of ways of thinking about prints and patterns, and none of them's right, none of them's wrong. It's just all different. And I think if you're open to considering all different ways of thinking about it, then it makes your aesthetic more interesting and complex and witty, and I don't know, I really like it. So ooh, lots of beige, very exciting. But I just love colour and I love patterns and prints. I think, there's just so much crappy stuff in the world. I think it's awesome when you can make the world more interesting and vibrant and rich, and without, hurting or harming or inconveniencing anyone else. I think they don't just bring you joy, they bring joy to other people. And I think the reason people are so desperate to, figure out how they can use prints is because when they see other people wearing prints, they can see the joy that it brings the person, but also it sparks joy in you as well. That's my opinion anyway. I do get a lot of people saying, yeah, whatever. But how did you come up with this? So I thought I'd talk you through a few of the dresses that I've made and my design process. So this one, I originally bought the Sally Kelly print, the top one, and that one's called Paradiso, but if you look at it, it's actually just a magical forest. And I'm a Shakespeare fan, so magical forest, of course, Midsummer Night's Dream. And this one here is another floral, and it's English cottage gardens, so Shakespeare was English. So I was like, okay, let's see if those two match. And then in Midsummer Night's Dream, one of the characters is a fairy named Mustard Seed. So I thought, well, if I'm going to add a third to this, maybe I should do a floral that's dark and foresty, but also got mustard in it. And then I tried them together, and I was like, yay, they match. And with this one, on the other hand, it's just 3 mustard ones. It's kind of, and they look good together. So that's how that one ended up being the way that it is. And with both of them, the most expensive fabric is on the top. And I just feel like that makes it value for money, because it looks more expensive, sort of subconsciously at least. Anyway, so so that's how those ones were made. And these ones, I've told you, I just bought a bunch of really beautiful prints and then divided them into 3, and that's how those skirts were made. And this teal one, I just bought these 2. They both happen to have an animal as the feature of the print, covered in foliage. That just happened that way by chance, and then I put them together. and I think it looks really cute. This one is also really popular on the interwebs. And yeah, again, I don't really have that many red fabrics, and I happen to have 2 red rose fabrics. And I was originally going to have 4 fabrics in this, but it only has 3 now. So the third one, I just had a one with hot pink flowers on a black base. And so I added them together, and that's how that one was made. Now this one it's a floral print on a white background, and it just reminds me of strawberries. I don't know what to tell you. So I've decided, and there's only enough fabric for either a shirt or half a dress. So I'm going to make half the dress out of this and the other half out of either a leaf fabric or a plain green. And it's going to be my strawberry dress. It probably won't look anything like strawberries, but that's what it's going to be to me. So yeah, in conclusion, I just think, one, only buy patterns that you love. Don't try and impress other people. I think that's where people go wrong. They're like, well, I don't like it, but I know it's popular with other people. Just don't buy anything that doesn't bring you joy, because you will always be disappointed. And yeah, I personally always stay away from the classics. So no dots unless they are ridiculous. Like I've got a Minnie Mouse fabric that's hilarious. But yeah, no dots, no stripes, no plaids, no checks, just because they're basic. And I don't know, I just feel like if you have to wear basic things for whatever, but if you're trying to pattern match and pattern clash, there is no joy in boring classics. It's yeah, they have their place, absolutely. But if you're trying to pattern match and trying to pattern clash and be clever about patterns, then I think you will, like from the videos I've watched of other people trying to pattern match, I think you'll just disappoint yourself if you settle for the easy basics rather than being brave and daring. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you fail spectacularly, because you can just pull them apart and use the fabric for something else. But also, you might discover something absolutely perfect for yourself. And unless you dare to fail spectacularly, then you will never find those perfect combinations. And yeah, once you hit a really unique, really adorable combination, then you can wear it forever. And it's going to be so unique that it doesn't matter how often you wear it, people will love it, and it will give you joy every single time you wear it. So yeah, I think it's worth the effort, the time and energy. Plus it sort of recharges your creativity, I think, anyway. So yeah, I would say those are my things. Just only buy stuff that you love, different patterns that you love. Don't be afraid. Just try any and every combination. And yeah, don't worry about what other people think. People are always going to say terrible things or always say, not very nice things. It doesn't matter. Just the whole point of working with patterns is that you give yourself joy, and that the other nice people out there sort of, get a smile, or yeah, they cheer up because they see someone who is joyous. And I think that's worthwhile. So yeah, that is what I suggest. Be brave, be daring, be creative, and just, play around with your fabrics, and you will find that perfect, elusive pattern clash combination.